news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 20th week of 2025. I'm Annie and hang on. It's just a little bit noisy out there. That's no bot going round. I'm Annie, and every week I just do a little bit of an update on what's been happening with our knitting group. So there was Jill. Jill arrived wearing one of her beautiful tops that she's knitted recently that we haven't seen before, which matched. Now the cat wants to be out. Right, come on. And if I shut you out, will you want to be back in? Hopefully, I'll just leave it because anyway. It went beautifully with the skirt or the dress that she was wearing with it. So that was very nice. And she's making the second sleeve of her cardigan. So all the panels are done and she's nearly finished with that too. Helen was working on a suffragette themed blanket. It's purple, green and cream. She went all the way to the Netherlands, well she went to Holland to buy some matching yarn. I don't know if she couldn't get hold of it. I think the thing was postage, paying postage. She didn't want to pay postage and she was going away anyway to the shop where she'd bought some originally. So she just went and bought it there instead. It wasn't a special journey just for a ball of wool, should we say. Right. So that's, she's putting an edge on, with it being like a shell stitch. The bottom and the top are really quite nice. They've got a little bit of a wave. But the side have ends and things. So she's working sides on each side of it. So that's nice, isn't it? I was working on Halu, which I could show you really, but it's not really anything more than what was done last week. I will show, hang on. Hang on again. Oh, I've had a palaver with my, I'm not fancy, I don't have lots of fancy things, but I do have a robot vacuum cleaner because it was on offer with a discount as well. And it's absolutely fantastic. But every now and then it has a hissy fit. And we've had a broken boiler this week, which was okay because we were under a warranty, so we got that repaired for free. Nobot's charger was underneath it, so I had to move Nobot, and then Nobot wasn't fully charged and only had 4%, and then I couldn't do anything with it and I couldn't get it to charge. And then somehow it just charged last night, so this morning it's on the go. And because I did that, I've discovered it's got a stronger suction power than I was using. So that's good, isn't it? So I'm going to go downstairs after this and it's all going to be beautiful. They really do. You think hoovering's not a bad job and it doesn't take that much time, but when you get things done while it's doing your hoovering for you, it's fantastic. Anyway, this isn't about hoovers, is it? This is my sleeve. I'm still on this sleeve. I am doing some other bits of knitting that I can't show you. Now, there's a very, I'm not going to bother about this, but this was in the yarn where all the other colours have blended beautifully. There's just an abrupt change, so that it must have snapped in production. Because it's not plied, it's quite fragile, and that's another reason why I had to bother getting it from a skein into a ball. Because it would snap if you put too much pressure, too much tension on. But it wasn't that fragile. I mean, I did manage to do that all right. I just hand wound it first, and then used the ball winder. And I tried my new one and had a bit of a disaster. But I do think it's partly me, and I've had to actually watch videos on how to use a ball winder. And you know, a lot of them are made in China. Well, I wanted a blue one, not a red one. So my plastic one is made in Japan. scoured eBay for a blue one because I didn't want a red one made in China. And I'll show you a picture of it. Anyway, it's very good. I've not had any bother with it. I just got all daft at the sale and bought a posh one. So I've just started. At the cuff we've got a lace pattern again. The same lace pattern, I think, that's on the yoke. So I've just started the lace pattern and that's worked out right. So it should be okay to carry on. That should be fine. So that's that. Now I had to look through my stash, and you know I've got this orange wool that was advertised as lace, and it took a while for the penny to drop that it's not lace, it's 4-ply, which gives me a lot more scope on what I can make with it. Now I've loosened it a bit because it was twisted so tight. I have to crush the fibres, so I've had it open for a while just to like relax it a little bit. And I thought, what can I make? What can I put with it? Now I did have a ball of pinky mohair. Oh, it's this colour. I don't know if that shows on there though. It's a much deeper pink than it shows on the with the light through it. I think the cat's had it, but I've got more and it will turn up. But I was looking through my stash and this is sort of a similar colour in places, the pinky bits, to the mohair that I've got. So I've got this and this because look, it's got orange on it too. This is hedgehog fibres, skinny singles, insomnia. That's a good colour for me. I like the shiny label. So I still have to find a pattern for that, and that's for Make Orange Great Again, the Mogger Knit Along, Make Along, which is in June, starting on the 14th of June I think, and runs through to September sometime. Bye. And it's Blocked Magazine, Neil at Block Magazine, who's running that one. If you're interested in that. Last weekend, me and my husband had, should I say, my husband and I, do you know I haven't got a drink here. I've got a cup with hot chocolate sludge in the bottom, and you're propped up on a bottle of water. Thing is, I only did it for fun and I don't really need a drink at the moment, so I've just had a coffee. What was I saying? Oh, we went out with the dogs and we went to Stokesly in North Yorkshire, which is a market town with a beautiful wide high street. Not quite as wide as Yarm, which is nearby, which I think is it Yarm or Stockton? I think it might be Stockton that's the widest high street in the UK. I could be wrong. Anyway, Stokesly's nice, it's pretty, it's cobbled, old buildings. And I don't think I put that much of the old buildings. I don't think I got much footage or pictures of the old buildings. But right at the back of the high street, right behind one of the rows of shops and pubs, there's a little stream. And it was a beautiful day. So we went for a walk along the stream. I never knew it was there. it was beautiful. The birds singing and the sun shining, and you know, because it's still, we haven't had many days like that yet. And at the end we got to the church and walked through the churchyard, and that was lovely too. You know how I got the Rapard Wee Peggy wheel, and it's funny because the Ashford Joy, I'd spun alpaca on that, and I think that's harder to spin and would have been maybe easier to spin on the Peggy, because I think it puts more twist in the way I've got it set up. This is what I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. So this was what was on the Wee Peggy that was already on there, and it was absolutely rock hard because it had been spun in the grease and could have been on there for years. But now it's quite nice. That's single ply, that though. I found the mitts pattern from the knitting gift shop. I've shown you these before. I've just plied another. Probably another full skein of that. Pause. It's funny really, because the whole thing I told you about the boiler had a knock-on effect earlier. Well, the other day. I was hunting for the boiler guarantee and the service history in the cupboard where I knew it would be, and it was. But I've got so many magazines and patterns and books that I'd started a new stash of patterns. There was all these separate individual patterns in a box in there that I'd forgotten about, so had I gone looking for this, I would never have found it. But this is the natural knits that from the knitting gift shop. Dahlia hand warmers. I don't think there'll be enough there. But there might, because it didn't take much. It was only a small... Well, I can tell you, can't I? Because it'll be on the back. 125 gram ball of 1-ply wool. Theirs wasn't quite as rustic. And it's got beads. There's beads in the middle of each... that's their logo. The logo's nice. I think they're all naturally dyed, their yarns. They're really beautiful shades of subtle colours. Their stalls are a joy, an absolute joy to look at. The other thing is, I have 95 metres and 43 grams of Wensleydale longwool. I think that would make it about a 4-ply. And with it having, it's Wensleydale longwool, has a long staple, so there's no, I don't think there's any breaks in it, and applied it without getting any more breaks in it. It's really quite lovely. I think I'm doing quite well. So that was on. That's my first skein produced on the Wee Peggy. I am wearing Birds of a Feather. I did have it on last night because it got a little bit chilly, and this is kind of, it's silken merino and silk mohair. It's quite lightweight out of the shawls that I have. I think it probably because of the silk content. So it's a nice light cover up just to go around your shoulders. But I'm sure we're all familiar with Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. I was at Woolfest, and maybe if it's got silk in it, the moths won't want any. I was at Woolfest and I found the yarn and I loved the colour, and the lady who bought it from, I don't know who it was, but she did say that's for Birds of a Feather, And I did go on Ravelry really quite often, and I had seen this shawl but not really thought about making it. Anyway, in the end I did, and I'm very happy with it. It's it needs wrapping round a few times though. Right, I think that's it then for today. So more news maybe next week. Better be in the bowl. Ooh, that's really good.
Oh, went to Oldham, got some yarn.